Hey everyone, the disruptor here. I'm going to jump into Capital Navigator, and so let's go ahead and take a look at this. So this is the YouTube channel that we have, and I'm going to just say that if you're not familiar with what we're talking about here at Capital Navigator, go back to this video, Introduction to Capital Navigator, Quant Model. I'll put this in the description. That'll be pretty helpful, I think. Now, clearly, you probably realize I need help with Streamlines, right? I'm not doing a very good job here with the presentation, the intro, the whatever. So if you're into what we do and you are comfortable with Streamlabs, man, oh man, I would love to meet you. And so you can come over here to Twitter where I'm at the disruptor. That's the with two E's. Send me a DM, a direct message over here, and I'd love to work with anyone who could possibly be helping me out on something. That'd be fantastic. All right, so let's jump into kind of where we are with Capital Navigator. We're going to start here with the theme. So since we started Capital Navigator, which was 7 sessions ago, trading sessions, we got signals on these, right? And we have removed. We've removed the signal for palladium because that completely fell apart, and we'll get into that and look at that chart. That'll be great. So you've got your longs here, your shorts here. Some of these might be getting removed pretty quickly. Some new ones here. I'm not sure basic materials, yen, Brazil, or the world were listed as shorts. Those are definitely things we're interested in. Shorting the world sounds pretty cool. But I want to show you kind of how we've been progressing because I've been working on Capital Navigator pretty heavily since the last video, trying to figure out how to improve it, how to expand it. And one step here is that we have expanded the moving averages. Now, instead of having a value, what we have here clearly just simply buy, hold, sell, or new signals. And so you can see here, these are all things that are selling on the 3-day, the 5-day, and the 7-day. And what that means is that price is below those moving averages, right? A buy, like this signal right here, means the price is above, or not price, sorry, the CAPI score. That's very important. I'm not charting price. I'm charting the CAPI score. So my apologies there. So the CAPI score is above the 5-day moving average, but below the 3-day and the 7-day. Definitely a little bit of weirdness going on here, and this is one of the ones that I'm really interested in, KGRN. So definitely all eyes are on that. So I'm thinking this is going to make it a lot easier. Now, if you look at this and you go, man, this is great. I wish I had access to this data. Like I said, another, not just the people that are willing to help me out with the Streamlabs, but if you're looking for access to the Google Sheet and are willing to help out with feedback and all that, I'm more than happy to work with you. I want to make this be the best thing that we possibly can, and that comes from getting good, actionable feedback from people. So definitely hit me up, send me a DM over here on Twitter. Again, that's at THEE Disruptor. All right, now, so back to this. We've created these moving averages. They've expanded out. That's great. But the thing that I'm really excited about, are these individual tickers. And so what we've done is I've only done it on 2, and that's just basically GDXD, which is a gold minor bear 3x, and then ZSL, which is a ultra short or 2x short silver. So basically all I've done is I put in the CAPI score for these days, and then I entered the moving averages. Now we'll have that for Monday. This should not be June 16th. Sorry, it's going to be July 18th. So we can change that right there and get that just so I can go ahead and get ahead of myself. So anyway, so this is what it looks like. And 100 is not the top. It's just trying to show it all here on a simple graph chart. And you can see here the 3-day is above the 5-day. Well, that's great because anytime you're using moving averages, bullish, you want the shortest moving average, like a 3-day, to be on top of the longest moving average, which might be a 5-day. The same thing for a 50 and a 200-day, which is what I use in my charts for these videos. You want that 50 on top of the 200 to be bullish. 250 leaves a lot of work to be done, right? So we'll hopefully continue with these and expand them. Here's one for ZSL. You can see here, again, there's your CAPI score, your 3, 5, 7, and you see, yes, they are stacked correctly with the 3 on top and the 7 on the bottom. that 3 and 5 are awfully close to each other. A crossover could happen clearly on Monday when we come in and we get the data at the end of the session. We'll be able to expand this, and it'll be cool to watch these charts and other charts grow. Right. So this is kind of what I've been working on. But I think the biggest thing is if you go over here to my Twitter, you can see definitely lots of charts, things like that. But you'll notice if you scroll down, you'll see these sort of things, right? This is what I'm calling CAPI notes. CAPI short for Capital Navigator. And if you want to see them up close, I really recommend using the Substack. There's a link for my Substack up here in the bio for my Twitter page. So definitely a good way to access it. So let's jump into Scott Pilgrim shorts the world, or does he? So this is one of the new signals that we got, which was EAFE. That's Europe, Asia, Far East. But it was a short, which is EFZ. Now there is a leverage version of this that we'll talk about as well. But EFZ was the single short. So this is great for maybe my IRA or something like that if it does a couple things. But obviously you can't read that. I'm blind. Maybe you're blind too. So let's zip in. So here's the name of the ETF with the ticker. This is Capital Navigator. So this is our product. We're putting this together, these reports. You'll see here CAPI score new. If you go back over here, you'll see sure enough that with the moving averages, you can find things like that. New. So this is a new item for us and one that we're going to watch carefully. So anyway, so let's, there it is, good. So, and this is under our theme, short the world, right? Specifically Europe, Asia, and the Far East, but it's more fun to say short the world. And basically this ETF covers 21 countries, developed markets, Australia, Austria, lots of Europe in there. You got Japan, and so anyway, and then we talk about the technicals here. You can see here's clearly a line of significant value. We gapped down below it and went down ever since, and we've been working our way back above it. You know me, I love it when we retest and land on the 50-day moving average and use that as support. So that's great. Came up, hit it, it pushed it back down. So we've had a tough go here at this line. I think you get above that line and you're onto something. And RSI definitely in a bullish range here versus that bearish range down here, right? So let's read this. So RSI remains in a bullish range on the weekly time frame. These are weekly charts here. Price found support on the 45. That is a 45 because it's weekly. So I'm sorry, that's not the 50-day moving average. That's more equivalent to like a 200-day moving average. Sorry, I forgot this is a weekly time frame. So I should stick to the script and read this. So basically, yeah, the 200-day, it could break out or fall back at resistance and retest. Basically, if price breaks above 2250, we would be long. Otherwise, we're going to wait and to see what happens at 2250. And if it falls down, watch for the retest. Now, this isn't necessarily news, but definitely interesting. This ETF is 22% weighted to Japan. Now, we are short YCS, which is the yen. You saw that over here on our themes. We can jump back over there just to make sure everyone sees that. There we are. We are short the yen. So there could be two ways to approach this. One is if I'm short the yen, does this really offer anything new? That's one way to look at it. Another is, yes, this is in line with our kind of narratives, the themes that we're seeing. So yeah, so we're going to add to that position by doing this. So Europe has a large weight in its energy woes, swim and talk of a European recession. So you've got Russia threatening to cut its gas. You've got the Nord Stream 2 going on maintenance, being shut down for maintenance. And there's a question, are they going to turn it back on? Lots of people are saying, well, actually, we think they turn it back on, but they actually shut it off closer to October. When things start getting cold in Europe, and they definitely need that natural gas. That would be very painful. The good thing is that it would give time for the U.S. to then get its terminal fixed, I think in Freeport, the one that went on fire. And I was very long natural gas. That fire happened, took a big bite out of me. But natural gas is certainly looking nicer and nicer right now. But anyway, so lot to do there, lot to think of, right? And oh, by the way, if you're wondering what this is the inverse of, it's IEFA. That's a long EAFE chart. So I mean that's kind of where we're at. So if you were curious about these notes that we have, by all means, the Substack's a great way. This is a note on the silver one. You can see here. See, we've got buy. We're getting buy signal in 3, 5, and 7. This is our short silver. Explains what the fund is. Gives an explanation. We have a no bueno line. So the no bueno line, that is when we would say, yikes, let's get the hoo-ha out of here. This looks like it could, so if it came below 33.50, that's our less than signal. Maybe you remember that from math. And so if I go below that, then I would say this isn't working. And maybe I see if it bounces on the, this is, I believe, the 50-day. Oh, no, this is also weekly. So that'd be the 200-day or 45-week moving average. If I bounce there, that'd be great. And so I just kind of explained, everything here. Target is $47 if you're a short-term seller. This basically lines up with this candle, but also it's a fib level. So that's pretty helpful. And it just talks about here a little bit about the U.S. dollar and what can happen. So anyway, so I'm hoping that these notes, these cappy notes, are helpful. I certainly like them. I think they have a nice professional look to them, something that could be looked at and get a sense of what's going on. We're showing here that bounce on that RSI when it went from the bearish range into a bullish range, came down, stayed in a bullish range, moved up. Man, I love that. So anyway, so these are the cappy notes. Definitely lots to look at. But let's dive through this. And so I will say that if you want access, like I said, to the spreadsheet. So if you want access to this spreadsheet right here, the way to do that is to DM me here. And I will say that Street Cred Traders is a group that I'm a part of. Some really wild cats in there that are very good at what they do, and I learn a lot from them. They all have access to this. So I'm definitely open to sharing it because I want the feedback that I can get from it. Why don't we look at some charts, right? This mouse, man, I'm just like, I want to kill this mouse. So, okay, we're over here in bar chart. Use this all the time. Again, go back to that intro video if you're not sure what this is all about. But let's go ahead and dive into our watch list so we can see what's going on. We will probably try to do this as quickly as possible because there's a lot to look at as our list grows. So these are new cappies, new signals on cappy, right? And we're going to, of course, drop into our 200-day. I should probably just set that up as my. So yeah, we've seen these bonds do this, and we know that we need to drop in a line like that. This red line was obviously something of significance at one point. Not sure if it is anymore. I don't need it, so let's keep going. So, okay, here is this is the ultra short EAFE. This is the short the world. You can see it went down 3% yesterday when it had a hard time on that line right there. Bounced down, came down. So we would love to see it retest maybe, or we'd love to see it just pile on higher. I think the futures are going to be a good indicator of that. Really interested in this one. This is the 1x. You can see this one only went down 1.5%, 1.59, whereas the 2x, I think this is the 2x, went down 3. So clearly, it's not all gravy riding these leverage ones. Now let's get back into this. So this is an ultra short Europe. So if you specifically wanted to be shorting Europe, this would work, but again, obviously it had a rough day and went down. And so we have more of these. Let's see what we got. This looks like a municipal bond. Again, we've got a level. Looks like we kind of tried finding that support there on the 15. Now these are definitely daily. We'll go ahead and add that line in there. Let's keep on going. You're going to find these, and I'm not going to go ahead and do all these. These are all municipal bonds. I mean, bond. And it's interesting because it shows us that the bond market is where the strength is. Look at this one. This one has broken that resistance. The first one that we've seen that's done that, I believe. Yeah, I mean, it just barely did it at 26.75, closed at 26.77. Now, clearly, going up 0.04% might not be what you're after, but you might realize that the market is changing and it might be harder to find big gains. More municipal bonds. Muni, muni, muni. There we go, right? They're just everywhere. Yeah. This is a multi-sector municipal bond. This was interesting. This is actually a gold bug. So here we are betting against gold, and then this thing shot up. But the volume on this is so ridiculously low. I was not comfortable taking a position on this, but man, I love the price action on that one. And we're going to watch it just because it's interesting, to see more of these bonds. And there we go, more bonds. So clearly the story is bonds are up. They're making new signals, and Europe is definitely. Now, let's look at some strengthening signals on CAPI. I'll go ahead and set my default again to the 5200. Okay, so these are these biotech plays, right, that we were talking about, and this line was of importance to us. We really wanted to stay above it. We went down, came up. This could be very exciting. One thing you might want to do here, if you're looking for confirmation, you could put in a line there and say, I'd like to see us get to a higher high. Or you could say, well, that was a trough, and maybe I drop in a no bueno line here, and if I get below that, then I'm out. However you want to play it, if this is something of interest, but I think we're going to see this more and more in biotech. Sure enough, here's BBH, the Vanek Biotech, very similar looking chart. This is Biotechnology and Genome, and so this one also similar. And more municipal bonds, right? So you can see some municipal bonds are new, some we've had for a while, and some are not doing as well. We'll see some of those as well. Again, more municipal bonds. So the story here and what's strengthening, we're seeing biotech come back after kind of a rough day, and so those two looked good. Let's jump in here to buys on CAPI. Always the ones, and there's a lot here. Again, going to be doing these quickly. Change that default to my 5200 just because that's the way a lot of people look at these charts. That was the weekly. It's not what we want. We want the daily. Do that. All right. Balt. This one is doing well on CAPI. We'll see where it goes from there. This is a municipal bond. You can see that did break the resistance, and that's why this one is definitely making. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, maybe it's right there. Definitely making some signals on CAPI. More of these bonds that are just showing kind of strength here. More bonds. All these BS are bullet. I can't remember what the S stands for. My dad was actually telling me about them. He's fairly familiar. So here's your short Brazil. So this is an interesting green line. I want to jump out to that and see what the hoo-ha I was talking about. Okay, so this is a pitchfork, and there's pitchfork here, and so that's what's going on. So the larger trend is still a downtrend in this. Always good to zoom out when in doubt. That did not do what it needed to. So we'll get back into there and go back to BZQ. Set this up again. And we're in the 6 months. So anyway, so it is literally right at one of the major lines for this downtrend. So I think that we could expect to see it come back down. But the other thing that I like is that we're above the 200. The 50 days moving up. It seems like maybe if it was going to turn, this would be a good point. We've got Dust, which is a gold miner bear, right? Clearly hitting a key point of resistance there that's been marked. But I'm loving this golden triangle here. Lots there to like. Okay, municipal bonds. Here's GDXD, which we have the individual worksheet for, so you can see its CAPI score going. It's been getting some upper shadows here, been getting pushed down. We'd like to see that break through and go into higher highs. More municipal bonds. And so we've got healthcare here. Broke that 200. broke through it again. It would have been nice if we could have stayed above that line right there, but we didn't. So this is one you might want to be watching if you're into the healthcare stuff. More of these municipal bonds. I'm not sure what's going on here. Jesus. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, more municipal bonds. Municipal bonds. Here's the yen short. Okay. I mean, that is just such a pretty chart. I mean, it's just, God, who would not have loved to have ridden a trend like that? All right. These are one of those kind of risk off things. Let's see, we've got another gold. This is a 2x. And then you've got just ultra short gold. So in the same way ZSL is a short on silver, this is a short on gold as a commodity. You know, IBMO, that one broke out. That's nice. Now JDDST is one that I hold. You know, definitely that 1390 would be my no bueno line on that. And we definitely don't want to get there at all. Municipal bonds doing its thing. You've got here another one of these risk off power buffers. SHM, this is another municipal bond. And there's the ZSL, one of the ones that I certainly hold. And yeah, we did have a rough day on Friday. I was disappointed by that. Certainly wish that hadn't been the case. Now, those are my buy signals that I'm getting on Cappy. Here are my holds, which I don't have any. I'm just using SPY as a placeholder so that so I can continue using. This is what I need. We need to look at. We need to look at what's weakening, right? So you know what? I'm going to have to just go in and make this my new default. I think so because we're doing these videos with it. So this one definitely does not look good. This is one of the risk off ones that we've seen. Had a decent day, but I just would love to see it find that support. Now, what I do love here, look at this, went into a bullish range, came down, find support. Actually, this is not bad. Again, you're not going to see a lot of gains on this one. It's just not a big mover like that. This municipal bond, got another bond here, short maturity. Okay, here's palladium. This is one we want to look at. So this right here, this line, let's zoom out because that could be of significance. So you just got a trend line here where you've got a low and then a higher low. Does it respect the trend line? That would be interesting. It really would be interesting. But we dropped below the 50-day moving average, which is not a good signal. Also, do we find support on the 40 and maintain a bullish range? If so, that would be a sweet place to pick it up. But that story is not playing out yet. SMN, this is our basic materials. This is weakening in the Cappy, but we have a golden cross right there, which is always good to see where the short moving average crosses above the longer one. This one we will see if good things are there to be found. Biotech is also weakening. You can see that you've got a downward pitchfork here. Price came below that, broke back up. Now, when price breaks out of a pitchfork and then comes back in, generally it comes in with some strength. I like that across the 50. The 50 looks like it's curving up. This could be an exciting story for biotech right there with the BBC. Here's DGZ. This is just a short gold doing the same thing the other golds are doing. Genomic and biotech. I like this. It looks like very soon it could actually be breaking out of a pitchfork. Always good to see. That's something we want to watch, but it is weakening. LABU looking like it wants to break out. I've drawn a line there. I want to stay north of it. Had a great day on Friday with that 3.47%. So lots to watch there. And then you got more in your municipal bond space. Now, last section that we look at are the cells. And if I remember correctly, we had a lot of cells. Again, you've got these biotechs. Let's just dive in. Got some China. We need to look at those because I've been wondering, where's the China? Where's the China? And there it is. You know what we're going to do? We're going to do this. And there we go. And so, yeah, good. So here we are. This is the biotech. We raised above the 200-day, fell below it. Do we get back up? That'd be pretty interesting. It does. If it does, here is China biotech. Okay, so what I really want to see here, this is currently a sell signal. It went out of the pitchfork and then came back down. If it finds support on the 50, we've got a good sign. You can see here RSI going further down. It did not have a green day when biotech did on Friday. Lot there to say no. And so that one from a CAPI standpoint, with just simply the 3, 5, and 7-day moving averages, would have gotten a sell. But those moving averages, we need more in there. This one is also this China healthcare. You can see there, that looks like a decent enough support. I'd love to see that stay above that line. So that's CHIH. Okay, CHIU, these are China utilities. You see it really had a rough day, a rough couple of sessions there, back down to the 50. Does it bounce here? Because look at that. It went pretty low on the RSI. It'd be great to see a bounce there. That'd be really exciting. Okay, you've got cancer immunotherapy. So this is kind of in there with the healthcare names and the biotech. Doesn't look bad, but it is in a longer downtrend. So we want to see that improve. These are just simply sell signals that we're getting off CAPI from being below those moving averages. So here's a general China one as well. Would love to see that 50 act as support. This is one that I'm a personal believer in, EUO. Really want to see this bounce off this fib level and move higher. You've got, this is another one, treatment testing, another biotech healthcare. Really want to see that bounce off that 50 and move higher. Okay, biotech iShares, again, it's going to be very similar to XBI. Okay, IBBQ, another biotech, same pattern, same thing we're looking at. IDNA genomics immunology, so a bit of a niche in the biotech world. Here's one of the ones that I really want to see win, KGRN. I want to get above that 200. You can see here we went below that, which was a real disappointment. I really want to see it hold its support. We're now kind of in this weird world where I don't know what's going to happen. Had a bad session on Friday. That's China. China could make us do very well for us if China would just do very well. Chinese healthcare looking similar. So rays. Okay, here's our solar play. This was interesting. It also had a bad day. Clearly not doing well. But look at that. Look at that lower wick, a lower shadow. That's good. I think this is really just trying to figure out what it wants to do. Maybe if that 50-day moving average catches up a bit, we'll see where it puts it. That one does not have a 200-day, by the way. Here we have medical breakthroughs, similar stuff. Look at that, perfectly with the pitchfork, just hitting it and trying to decide what it wants to do. Here's some U.S. dollar ones, right? These are great uptrends. Certainly did very well for people who held on to it. We just want to know, are we at a peak and about to go into a trough, or does this keep moving forward? Now, if U.S. dollar does peak and move into a trough, this would also affect our gold and silver miners, because those with the dollar doing poorly, with the dollar moving up, gold tends to move down. If the dollar starts to move down, gold might move up. So we might see a few things move here depending on the direction that the U.S. dollar decides to go. UUP, very similar stuff here. XBI, star of the show here. What we saw is, remember, we had made support here, went down, broke above the support, got here, and we really need to see the story. Does XBI continue to move out? Let's just move that over a little. Just give us a better idea. Right? We need XBI to do something, and we're going to put in a nice resistance there because that will also help, because right now it is just in limbo. So the question becomes, is Monday a green day or a red day for the market at whole? Right? Anyway, so this has been a fairly long video going through Capital Navigator. I don't think in the future we'll go through all the tickers, but it's good to see them. Maybe it helps. And if you want access to the spreadsheet, DM me on Twitter, and I'll be happy to help. Most importantly, cheers, y'all.